mountains on the moon, summertime with you, all the things I'll never see, all the things I'll never do, and it gets so cold in the April noon, in the melting snow, and my heart beats fast.
I'd like to introduce two young ladies who together call themselves Paper Wings, and I'm speaking of Emily Mann and Willa Frank. And I'm so happy to meet you both. I love your album. It's a brand new album that just came out recently in March titled Mountains on the Moon. So, what I'd like to do is find out a little bit more about you two. I know that you both grew up in different places and met somewhere at some kind of folk conference, I believe. I'll let you talk about it. Whoever wants to begin.
Yeah, we met when we were kids at fiddle camp out in California. And we both were learning fiddle separately. I grew up in Oregon, Em's from California, and then our teachers had us suggested we go to this camp. And so there we met each other along with a lot of other friends and musicians that we still play with and know today. So yeah, that was our origin. And then we started writing together as teenagers and seeing each other at festivals. And then we started playing shows and kind of started for fun. And then somehow we ended up continuing until now. Yeah.
So, did you go to school? Did you go to college and meet after that, or did you bypass that whole scene?
We both bypassed that, I suppose.
Yeah, neither of us went to college, and when we met, we were actually kids. Like Willa was 9, and I was a young teenager, maybe 14.
Wow.
So yeah, we met before college age, and then just
Started
our
touring.
friendship turned into band stuff, and yeah.
And after you met right away, you hit it off right away, obviously, as far as the
I mean, first off, we were kids, just both at the same event,
okay.
like noticing each other and hanging out with all the other kids. And then it was later when we were both in our teens and I was in my early 20s that we started playing more music together.
Okay, but what led you to the decision to begin performing together and writing songs together? Are you both separate as far as writing goes, or do you do it together? And
A
tell
little
about
bit of
that.
a little bit of all of the above. Yeah, we both write individually on our own. Willa has a solo project. She put out a record a few years ago, and but we also co-write a fair amount together for Paper Wings. And
Okay,
yeah, that was
and
that was kind of part of it right from the beginning too. We wrote our first song together in that first year or so we were playing. I was in yeah, first year or so we were playing together.
and again, this new album, which is titled Mountains on the Moon, is your fourth album, which
Yeah.
I find pretty amazing because she's still so young. Four albums. How did that come about? I mean, how did the first album come about, right off the bat?
We recorded the first one in Nashville. We've recorded them all in Nashville, actually. And it was right around when I moved here, which is like 10 years ago almost. And yeah, we had some songs that we had been playing together on tours and some favorite traditional tunes. And we just sort of threw together the ones that we liked the most. And we recorded them with a good friend of mine, ours, who was doing like a home studio setup. And it was kind of like DIY. And then we were playing more with that album on the road, and we started to write more together, and we had like a whole other collection. It was very organic, almost accidental, just like, well, we have this. It was just fun.
And everything was DIY. I mean, pretty much everything is still DIY, but at that point we were fully, up until 6 months ago, we've been doing all our own booking as well. And so we would book a couple little tours a year, and that was kind of the level we could keep up with initially.
That's great that you could do that. I mean, are you sending out info to the DJs, the albums and all of that? You're doing all of that work, or do you have a promoter?
We have a friend, Tom Brayman, who he helped us with that this time around. We did most of the legwork as far as like actually putting CDs in envelopes and sending them out in the mail, but he helped us with all those contacts.
Okay. And that's how I found out about you, I guess.
Exactly.
Through Tom. And I said, wow, I've got to talk to these young ladies because they're quite good. And that's why I did ask if we could chat. And I'm glad I did. Let's discuss the album. First of all, Mountains on the Moon. Where did that title come from?
There is a song on the album called That. That song was one we wrote together a couple years back. We were on a tour up in Vermont, and we got to see a total eclipse. And so we were just sitting there. We had this little picnic on a riverbank, and I don't know if anyone who's ever seen a total solar eclipse knows how strange and freaky it is for the sun just to disappear like that. And it was very otherworldly, and it was springtime and there was snow on the ground, but it was melting, and it was just this very surreal little time. And that was when we started writing that song, was just sitting there watching that all happen.
Mountains on the Moon is the name. By the way, your website is, what is it?
Paperwingsband.com is our website.
Okay, so paperwingsband.com?
Band, yeah, like we're a band. Yeah.
Okay, that's important. Every time I ask somebody, I never really know if there's going to be something else after either the name or the name of the group. Is there another Paper Wings out there?
Well, there's a Australian children's clothing company called, and I think they're the one who have the actual Paper Wings website, but I can't remember now. Yeah, there's other people who've used it for other kinds of things.
So you guys who are watching on television, you can find them. Just Google Paper Wings music band, and that's always the way I do it anyway. I don't type in the URL. But
you can also find us pretty easily on any streaming service.
And you'll also be able to find some really nice videos on YouTube. We're going to play two of them. So let's talk about the song Fumbling, which is on the album. And by the way, your previous albums have gained recognition on many fronts. I've read a number of things about them. So they're quite successful in the folk industry, and I have to congratulate you for that.
Thanks.
So let's discuss Fumbling.
Yeah, Fumbling we wrote together, and it's kind of a song about friendship and watching each other and friends grow up and just go through life and all the awkwardness of life and love, and just sort of an appreciation of just that, knowing somebody really well and getting to see through the facade that we put on for people that we're not as close to. And
it's like about getting to know somebody well enough that you get to know their imperfections and the beauty in that.
Candle wax is pooling, dripping on the tablecloth. Wine stain rings make moon phases that won't come off. blindfolds the dreamer. Radio's broken, you're broke too, but you're singing. Flowers on the dash, your mirror is looking tarnished. Your chest has a window and I can see where your heart is. Your heart is. Your heart is. Underfoot, the fiddle ferns unfurling. Your sweater's caught on a thorn, now it's uncurling. You're gonna get torn up out here, it's a sure thing. Your chest has a window and I can see where your heart is. Heart is, your heart is. Tumbling, stumbling, with the door, does it open anymore?
And that's followed by the song Country Girl on the album. Talk about that one.
Yeah, that's one that Willa wrote.
Yeah, Country Girl is sort of a autobiographical song about hope and about growing up in the country, as we both did, and how I, as an adult who's moved to the city, just really appreciated the perspective that I was given being raised on a farm out in the middle of nowhere and feeling like the world is a big place and anything is possible. And you grow up and you move to the city and you're like, oh, like my possibilities are limited. And
Are you
trying,
both country girls?
yeah.
Yeah, we both grew up in different rural places. Yeah.
But when you say country girl, how country? What, on a farm, or you grew up on a farm? And
I
that's
mean,
interesting.
when I grew up, we were cooking on a wood stove and milking goats, and we had chickens. I mean, we both had all kinds of farm animals.
Yeah.
Oh,
It
cool.
was 45 minutes to the nearest grocery store where I lived.
And
That's how country it was.
what inspired you to pick up the fiddle? And who are the people that inspired you?
I started playing fiddle. I had a friend who was playing fiddle as a kid, and she started getting really into it, and then started going to some of these music camps and stuff. And her family gave me a copy of this CD from Alistair Fraser and Natalie Hawes,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Fire and Grace, and they gave that they gave us that CD and we listened to it a bunch, me and my little brother. And yeah, I just became obsessed with the fiddle. I wanted to learn the fiddle. And around the same time, a work friend of my mom's gave her a student violin and a tennis racket because she was like, oh, you have kids, maybe you'll use these things. So suddenly I had an instrument.
Oh, you could have become a tennis star.
I could have become a tennis player.
Really?
But I
that
heard
good?
you. No, I'm not. I'm terrible at tennis. But I had an instrument suddenly, and I just started trying to learn to play, and that's, yeah.
I'd like to run away and get lost in the darkness, and get lost in the darkness and the shadows of my mind. When I see those city lights, when traffic rolls down Ashby, when traffic rolls down Ashby, I just like to run away. I picked a thorny rose, I held it to me dearly, I held it to me dearly, because I thought it might. And maybe if I loved it well, the thorns would be less painful, the thorns would be less painful, but I picked a thorny rose. I can't forget that song, the one that you were singing, the one that you were singing when I last saw you. And sometimes when it's late at night, I like to sing it too. I like to sing it too, 'cause I can't forget that song. I need a longer day to get to where I'm going, to get to where I'm going. I just need a longer day. When the sun has fallen low, I feel that I've just woken. I feel that I've just woken. I need a longer day.
And what was your family supportive?
Very supportive, yeah. I mean, they would drive us to take music lessons and to go see concerts.
Great.
And my brother and I would busk at the farmer's market in town.
Neat.
We'd go to town once a week for our grocery run and all the other stuff like doctor's appointments or dentist or whatever, and music lessons. And then we'd go and we'd busk at the farmer's market to pay to go to camp or whatever.
That's so neat. How about you, Willa?
I started with classical actually when I was about 4. So I was doing lessons and then started learning fiddle from different teachers in the area. And I grew up in a town. There's a family that was really into fiddle music. Tatiana Hargraves and Alex Hargraves, brother and sister who grew up near me, and they were going to all these camps. And so they're a little bit older than me, and their mom told my mom, you should take your daughter to these camps too. And so they kind of, yeah, also through word of mouth.
And I got to say, I am more than happy to have met you, and I love your music and hope that folks find out more about you. And certainly this album will do that. Again, the title of the album is Mountains on the Moon. The group is Paper Wings. And is there anything you guys want to say in closing?
I don't think so. Thanks so much for having us on. Did you have something you wanted to say?
Oh, come see us on tour.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again, mention the website again.
Paper Wings Band. So paperwingsband.com.
And can people purchase your album on your website?
Yes, they can.
So
And
they
we
could
have
get
merch
either
as
physical
well.
or digital copies
Physical
of
or digital.
even the
and
other albums?
Yeah.
And we've got t-shirts and hats and stickers and all kinds
Oh,
of
cool.
stuff that we made as well. Yeah.
Great. That is so great.
Yeah.
Hey, it was really fun talking to you guys, and I really appreciate you joining me here today on Mostly Folk, and also both the video and the radio program. It's just a pleasure to meet you, and lots of success with this new album. And maybe you'll be up this way into the Catskills on your next tour. Right now, I don't travel, so if you're not near me, I'm
All
not going to
right.
see you.
All right.
Fair enough.
Anyway, thanks again, both of you, for being here today, and I really appreciate it.
Thanks so much for having us. Yeah. Have a good rest of your day.
You too. Enjoy it. Bye-bye now.
Bye.
Bye, Artie.
The heart of a country girl is nothing like you've ever seen. She's from another world, raised up on a rusted dream.